TYT Sports, Jayar Jackson, Gary Payton. We're back for more. It's going to be fun. We already went over LeBron and landing spots, and we already found out how much you don't like that conversation. So we're going to go on next. Which in general, I understand. I'm kind of like that too. Like, what do we know?
Yeah, we don't know nothing about
That's why I'm glad you're in there, because you're going to be straight up and keep it real with me. But let's talk about the finals. I'm sure, of course, I'm one of those guys who watches NBA games, and then even when there's a party around me, I'm watching small things that are happening in the background, attitudes, energies, players off the ball, which I think a lot of people don't do as much of. Which is why I always want to get the thoughts of a legendary player like yourself to find out what you saw and what you were looking at the whole time, what you could see happening with it. Okay, did you see a sweep coming? Let me start with there, because that's where I was wrong first.
I did. I did. I said it would be a sweep or 4-1.
Because I had 6 for some reason. Because I saw Cleveland losing against Toronto and they surprised me. So I was like, okay, I gotta stop shortchanging them. So first off, there's that, and then number 2, did you see KD and Steph working in the way they are to get? I guess KD's getting all these Finals MVPs. Let me just go straight to it, because I'm trying not to go straight to it. I think Steph should have one of these 2.
Why is that?
Because Steph is the reason why KD's able to do what he does, and Steph still does these numbers, and he purposely takes a back seat to give him those numbers. So it's not always just numbers, but it's always the effect on the team. So when there's an MVP, I think it's not always like, oh, look at the points. Oh, man, look at the steals and blocks. Like, sometimes it's your effect on the team, and you still get those numbers. And I feel like Steph still got those.
Well,
no one agrees with me.
I'm not going to agree with you on that neither, because if we look at it and we look at their first championship when Steph and them beat Cleveland the first year, the reason Andre Iguodala got the MVP was because the simple fact is he played great defense. He changed the course of the series.
I agreed with that.
Steph didn't play well. Then we go to number 2, and then that's when they KD wasn't there still. And then they lost. Steph didn't play well again. Last year, he played okay. But who made the big shots and who made the big winning games and who had the best games?
It was KD.
KD. This year, same thing. You see Steph averaging shots, but who was the guy who changed the game around from game 2 to all the way to game 4?
There was one game. Each of them had a bad game and each of them had a great game.
I don't think KD had a bad game because he averaged 30 points. You don't see that, because in game 1, KD was struggling, but then all of a sudden he came back and he still had 20-some points. In game number 2, he had a great game. Game number 3, he took over the game. If KD wasn't there in game number 3, Cleveland would have won a game in Cleveland. Right. If they would have won game 1, they would have been up 2-1, but that didn't happen. So we're talking about, when people say MVPs and most valuable player, we're talking about the most valuable person in that series. To me, you take KD away from there, Golden State doesn't dominate the way they do.
If KD never comes to Golden State, how many championships do you think Golden State's got? That's a big speculative
We can't say that. We can't say that because we don't know. Because there still was a great team. They were going to the championship before KD got there. They went twice. So now if you say it, but then we got to think of this way. Then how much more role would Draymond Green have? How much role would Clay have? They would have more shots. They would have more things. Other players would have to step up, and then it would be different. But when you have KD, who is a great shooter and a great scorer, you don't have to do that.
And I think it was Chris Webber saying he does chair drills basically and gets some of these guys when it looks like it's a great defender, and he's like, this is a chair drill. This guy's 6'11", I think, right?
Right.
And he's turning around and shooting jumpers, fadeaways, and it's easy.
Right.
So let's go and talk about what I think Golden State could do in the future. Is there anything you see where, I guess KD specifically, he caught a lot for the move, for going to the team that beat him, and with Westbrook and everything, right? So is this any kind of a taint, a tarnish on his legacy, his championship legacy? Because this is just fans talking at this point. So at that point, does that affect what people think of him in the future? When we remember Jordan, we remember, Barkley and Shaq and everybody, and there's a thought we have about them. Will this stick with him no matter what?
One, we have to understand this is a different era. This is not the era when my era came in, where we were all playing against each other and we were trying to do it. This era, these guys play on AAU teams together, they play together, they're friends together, and they already plot to say that they want to play on each other's team. It is what it is. He went to a team that was good. Okay, that's everybody's opinion. But you can't just go to anybody's team and then become somebody. He's still a superstar. He's still the number 2 best player in the country, in the world. I mean, he's still number 2. So you don't downtake it. But all he did was he enhanced his ability. He enhances his chances to win championships. As soon as he comes, what happens? He's only been to Golden State twice, 2 years, and how many championships he got? He's got 2. So that's what his whole mentality was. Westbrook is not like that. Westbrook said, I want to be an old school dude. I want to win championships on my own. It is what it is. If he wanted to, he could have went to other teams and built up and did the same thing and win championships, but he chose to choose his team and make it that way. We can't say nothing about KD. I think he's still a great basketball player. I think he's still got numbers. He's just that is just what he chose to do.
So real quick, again, the 2 guys that get the criticism, KD and LeBron. LeBron, they say he's going every year, but he's not winning every year. Where's that legacy going to go, you think?
I don't care about all that. I don't care about all that.
People keep talking about his legacy. They feel like he's talking about his legacy, then there's KD legacy, because we're thinking about our old school players and what now the guys that are watching the game now that are 16-year-old when they're 30 and 40.
Well, everybody's talking about a legacy. That's everybody's opinion. They're not. I don't think they're thinking about their legacy because they know they got a legacy. They've already established something. They got records. They do things. LeBron has been to the championship 9 times. He only won 3. So what? Michael Jordan went 6 and he won 6. We can't do everything what Michael Jordan does. John Stockton went to the finals twice, didn't win none. I win 3, I won 1. So what? You're still going to be a great legacy basketball player. Your legacy is never going to be tarnished that way. So I don't think that. I think their legacy is going to be great.